Good? All right. Hey, it's Friday at noon. I'm going to get rid of my social distancing stick. It's Festool Friday, and that means it's Festool Live. Welcome, everybody. We are wicked excited to have you here today. We have over 100 people waiting to see this episode. This is episode number 21, huh, guys? Woo! All right. So, I can't believe it's gone so quick. As always, I always introduce the crew, the people behind the scenes who are Festool Live. Right over here, we have Big D. He's the man on the board. Behind the camera, we have Chris Seibert. All right. And right here, the woman, the myth, the modern day legend, Minnie Gleb. She's on the whiteboard. And online, we have Brent Shively. He's our other trainer here in North America. And he's handling all your questions. We will still handle questions at the end that need demos. Okay, so today's episode is the PLANEX versus PLANEX EZ. And the reason it comes up is we get this question every single daggone day. Hey, which one do I need? So I'm going to go through and I'm going to tell you how today is going to work because this is going to be a lot of fun. We are going to do an overview of the differences and what they share in common. Okay, so when we're finished with that, you'll probably be able to make a decent decision, but it's going to get even better than that because I'm going to show you the basic technique of using it on the wall, drywall here, okay, how to choose the right paper or the right grit range on what you're trying to accomplish, okay, how to analyze that surface. But if we look up here, we're going to do how to remove popcorn ceiling, okay? And we're actually going to remove this 4x4 popcorn for our demonstration today. I am so stoked. We're going to have a great time. Okay, so enough of that. Let's get over here and start talking about it. Okay, so this is your PLANEX EZ, and this is your PLANEX. This is the one that originally came out here in North America. I think it was like in 2012, 2013. Okay. The quick difference between the two, one comes in a maxi sustainer and one comes in this bag. The PLANEX EZ comes in a bag, and I'm going to open it up so you can see it. There's some obvious differences, and then there's some subtle differences. So as I take it out, I'm going to set the bag over, okay, so we can compare them. Here is the PLANEX, and the obvious of the PLANEX, it comes in parts, okay? You have a power head where the sanding pad is, where the motor is. It's a direct drive motor. Both systems are gear driven, okay? It comes with one extension, okay? And it comes, I call this the control stick. All right, now, you can have it in a short form or long form, and even longer form. So you can add, and our recommendation is no more than 2 extensions, but it comes with 1 extension. That's on the PLANEX. On the PLANEX EZ, it's simple, and that's why it's called easy. It's easy for a variety of reasons, but it's easy because it's a lot easier to understand. We always would talk about it when it came out as a plug and play. You can hand this just about anybody on the job site, and they can figure it out. Okay, there's just a few really great nuances to this, and hopefully today I can describe them to you properly. Okay, now the PLANEX EZ is one solid system. Okay, if we look at the motor here, we use our TEC technology. That's a brushless motor. Long wearing, don't need to ever change brushes. Here we have a brushed motor. All right, the brush on this has an amazing longevity on the brushes because they're really long. Okay, they are long wearing brushes. All right, so that's the difference. Some people say there's more torque developed with this. I think they're about the same when I use them, but I'll be featuring this pretty much all day because I really like this. It's comfortable to use for me. Is there a weight difference? That's what somebody asks all the time. Not really. You really don't feel it. And hear me out on this. During demonstrations and using this, people ask me, well, how heavy is it? And if you put this in somebody's hand, they may say, and I've seen this all the time at trade shows, oh, that's pretty heavy. It's really not heavy because if I put that on the wall absorbs all the weight. So it's fairly light just holding it here. Okay, I thought I'd say that whether it's the PLANEX or the PLANEX EZ. Now, when I say this is a plug and play, Your plug-it cord, and I'll show you this when we're running the sanding portion of this. You put your plug-it cord in here, and here's what we call the claw. It locks on, watch, to the end of this hose. See it? This is a special hose for the PLANEX. It comes with the CT36 Auto Clean. All right. Now, this is important because somebody will ask today, can I use the PLANEX and PLANEX EZ on this dust extractor? This one's coming out October 1st here in North America. This is our CT48 AC. It's our auto clean. You'll hear it today. We have time. I can go over it, but we want to feature the PLANEX. It comes with this hose. It's our anti-static hose. Starts out at 36 and ends up at 32. Okay, but this is a HEPA filter system. Okay, so can you use it with the PLANEX? Yes, but you should always use it, or I'll say purchase it with this. Okay, or purchase it, then get this as an extra, additional, I should say, because of this right here. If you use that hose on the PLANEX, and this is a very common question, okay, and I'll take it over to the easy. Come on over here, Chris, so we can see this. Okay, and I put it on here like this. Okay, over time, it doesn't lock on at all. Okay, this will fall off. It'll be kind of a pain. So I'll always recommend an auto clean feature. One of our dust extractors, we have two now in the marketplace. Okay, if someone comes up and says, hey, can I use my regular CT dust extractor? I will always say, no, these are the machines that actually get the dust and keep up with it because of the auto clean feature. The other systems that we have will clog the bag and I don't think you'll be satisfied with the PLANEX if you use our other systems. Okay, always make sure you purchase either one with an auto clean feature. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. Okay, so as I do this, you understand the PLANEX EZ. It's a solid system. Here's your on and off, and it's important when we start sanding. Okay, the PLANEX, it comes in like this, the regular PLANEX. Okay, you'll see this. This is our power head, and check this out. You can add an extension like this. You'll see it here. It comes with one. As I put it in, it's keyed. You can only put it on one way. I take it, I push it in like this, locks it. It's this simple. It looks confusing, but once you start using it, it's wicked easy, and that's the power. And then I'm just going to take it like this, and I'll take the control stick. I'll put it in here. I'll flay these out like this. See if we can get in here, Chris, to see this. How's that look, Derek, on there? Good? Okay, I lock it in. If it's too tight or too loose, I take a slotted screw, and I can adjust the tension on there. I lock it back, and there's the power. So if we look at it, they're the same length now. Okay? So now comes why we made it easier. Okay, let's talk about the head here. We have what we call a blast gate. And as I cover this, hopefully we get this, or you understand it. See where it says vacuum right here? That means we're going to get dust extraction from these 9 holes right here. Okay, and you could take that when you have it to the PLANEX, turn it on, and it is such a powerful suction, it will suck right to the ceiling. Okay, but remember, you're only getting dust extraction from here, not the outside. Okay, if you want it from the outside, and what we call that an assist to take some of the weight while sanding the ceilings or high up on the wall. If I take it like this and I switch it over, I'm getting dust extraction from the outside perimeter. And that right there is one of the reasons we came out with the PLANEX EZ. Because guess what? The PLANEX EZ, there's no blast gate. It's not either or. It's both from the 9 holes and outside. Hopefully you understand that now. Okay? So you have that weight assist with just those internals. But if you go too fast with it, you won't have great dust extraction. So you slow down when you have it just internal on the regular PLANEX. Okay, but here's where this shines over the PLANEX EZ. And if you ask me, which one should I get? I will almost always go, is this your first one? And they go, yeah, why don't you start with the PLANEX EZ? Because I'll tell you what, you'll probably want to, if you're a drywall contractor, you'll probably want to get this. Okay, so hear me out on this. It's all about what you're sanding or where you're sanding. So I'm going to take it like this, and I'm going to put it in the short form. And we're going to go over to the wall. Lock it in like this. So if I'm sanding with this unit, you're going to see where I'm going to contradict myself today. Because in this is 4 feet span right here. This is a hallway or a closet or a small half bath, and I got to sand inside that room. Okay? Now, if you understand technique with the EZ, and you'll see this in a few minutes, I've been using this for quite a few years, and when I use it, you'll see where I walk to the wall to keep that pad engaged so I don't knock this wall. All right? But if you have somebody, a newbie on the job site, I'd probably put this in their hand because guess what? They can't mount this wall. Look how short the footprint is like this. See this? So this is why we have this. Instead of owning 2 machines, you can only own 1. So you have to make the decision. Do you want to start with the PLANEX and own 1 machine? Or do you want to start with the PLANEX EZ? And by the way, if you want to buy just 1 and have that capability of the short format, then you're good to go. Okay, so enough of that. Hopefully you understand the difference between the two. You will understand a lot more when I start sanding. Okay, so this comes about, and I learned this early on in furniture building and cabinetry many, many moons ago. How to pick the right grit for sanding cabinets or wood. It's the same thing on drywall. Okay, where'd you go? Whoop, 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 whoop. We're losing people here. Okay, so you have to analyze, what are you trying to accomplish when you're sanding? So what I like to do is I like to take a light. I love this surface inspection light we have, okay, because I can use a raking light here, okay? In other words, look, I'm going to hit this like this. I'm not starting 220 grit range with this. I always use granite sandpaper, of course. Okay, I'm not starting this. Okay, you analyze your surface is what I'm getting at. Hopefully you understand that. Okay, look, I have 80 grit on that. Okay, I'm not going to do 80 grit on this. With a lot of machines out there, you may have started with 80 grit. I'm going to grab a sheet of 180 here. Okay, and this is a tip I teach everybody. When you line up these holes, what you do is you find one hole, then you find a second one, and your grit will line up on all the holes, okay? So there you go. I'm going to start with 180, and you're going to see how quick this, remember, this is a direct drive motor, okay? It's a geared motor. So there are other systems out there, okay, where on something like this, you may have to start at 80 grit. With ours, you don't, okay? You got to, how do you say, test the waters. Okay, so I'm going to put my plug-it cord in on all our tools. Always remember this, everybody. When you put a plug-it cord in, it's a full quarter turn, okay? You see this claw right here? This is what locks onto this end. This is still an anti-static hose, okay? But inside here is a steel cable. And the reason we have that is we found over the years, everybody rests like this, and the old style hoses were breaking apart. But that steel cable keeps it intact. Okay, so this is not a random orbit sander. It's a rotary sander. So I always start it on the wall. Okay, but I'm going to coach you on another thing. I got the high grit on there, and here's your speed range, okay? Until you get used to this, like anything that's new to you, is I always start around between 4 and 5. I can work up to 6 if I want. Okay, I started on the wall like this. Oh, let's get the light on here. I got a bigger light so we can see it. Perfect. There we go. Okay, how's that looking, D? Okay, so I'm going to start it up here. Whoopsie. You know what helps? If I have it plugged in. Whoop, 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 whoop. Electricity's our friend. Okay. Okay, so you're going to see that first wisp come off. That's because it's an automatic on-off. And as I'm taking that off, this is coming off pretty daggone quick. Now remember earlier, and this is a full coverage on here, okay, but you're going to see that just peel away. Now, remember I told you earlier, if I go like this, I'm going to hit here. So you walk toward the wall like this, and you can sand down below. Always, because that's a fully articulated head, and that will just follow the contour of the wall. If you walk close to the wall, not away from it. Okay, and it's that simple. And you know what? On this application, it's a pretty soft material. I'm getting great result with the 180. And hopefully that's coming through on the film. And when you take it off, I usually hold it like this, so the rest of the dust. Now, here's the beauty of this, gang. Check it out. Because we're taking away the dust at the source, you're going to prolong the life of the paper. Okay, this actually feels like a brand new piece of 180, and we're not breathing this. I'm not wearing a respirator today. Now, if I did this for a living, I'd probably wear a respirator. Okay, but do you see any dust in here, gang? Nada. Okay, that's why this is a great system. Now, if I need to sand into an inside corner, the PLANEX and the PLANEX Easy both have this. This shroud here, oh, I want you to see this too. See this? This is spring loaded, so those bristles, you got to clean these, okay, periodically, okay? But what you want to do is they're spring loaded, so this just floats on the wall. Okay, right here. Check it out. I can remove that and get in the inside corner. Now, you got to be careful when you do this. The dust extraction, you have to slow down a little, okay? So watch. You're going to see a bit of it come off, but I want to put that right up against the ceiling like this to sand this inside corner. And as I come off, that dust extractor had to keep up, but I'm getting right in that inside corner, keeping it tight and getting the dust. And once again, I pull it off. So I got right up into that inside corner. All right, so that removable shroud really helps out. I'm going to put it back on and go from there. Cool. All right. Can I what? Oh, yeah, let's do it. Oh, what a great idea, Chris. I'm just going to set this off to the side. And let's look at that wall again, everybody. Look at that. Huh? Check that out. And there you go. How quick was that? Huh? And no dust floating around. You can actually look here, and there's no dust in that light. So I thought I'd show you that. Good idea, Chris. Okay. Remember pad speed and remember grit range. That's how you analyze everything. Let's see. Oh, that's right. I wanted to cover this. Hey, we got to remove some popcorn, huh? Minnie, you got any popcorn? Let's get some popcorn. More than a little bit? Let's see. Let's turn on the AC. Come on over, man. Okay, so the CT48 is really good at removing popcorn. You just got to do a little at a time. No? Wait for it. Wait for it. Whose idea was that anyhow? How's the popcorn, man? Good? All right. Good. So let's put this back on. Let's lock it in. I'm going to put it on auto. Okay. Oh, boy. Popcorn removal. The real popcorn ceiling removal. I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to coach you on something else. Okay? See this pad? Of course, a little dust gets in between. But especially when you're running or, removing popcorn. Sometimes, when you look at the surface, you may have like a swirl mark in there. What I always suggest before you put a piece of paper on there, always vacuum your pad, okay? By the way, that's for any of our sanders because that may transmit through. Okay, and that's just a quick tip I wanted to show you. Okay, next, let's put a piece of 80 grit on there. I got some 80 grit granite. All right. And let's put this on. Woo! Okay, find one hole, line it up with a second, and you should. That's all you need to do. Boom, boom. But you got to make sure those holes are exposed. Okay, now I'm going to start with 80 grit. And this is where you have to analyze. I'm just going to set this right here. You have to analyze your surface. Let me tell you what I have up here. I have a coat of prime, and then I put a coat of popcorn. Okay, and it's not extra heavy, but you can see in places it's heavy. It's what we had to work with here. Okay, now someone will say, and I've heard this before on the phone or at demonstrations, I was removing popcorn, but man, it wasn't working. What grit did you start at? Okay, because this is important. You'll find that when you walk into and analyzing a surface, that popcorn, they may have put that in there, and then it's a rental unit. They may come in and spray a coat of white prime up there and be done with it, okay? And guess what? The next person moves out, then they come in and spray. You may have 4, 5, 6, I've even heard 10 coats of prime or paint, ceiling paint on top of that popcorn. No worries. I was talking to somebody in Orlando this spring, in February, and that person told me that they had 10 coats of paint on top of there. They started with 20. We have it all the way down to 24 grit sandpaper. It's in the Sapphire brand that we have. And they said, hey, it took a little bit of time, but it came right off. Okay, so you got to analyze your surface. What do you have up there? Hopefully that came through all right. Okay, I know the other day I ran, what did I run on here? 120, guys, and it was coming. I think I'm going to start with 80 right now. Okay, now, like a wall, you start with the pad on the ceiling. And when you take it off like this. That way there, if there's any latent popcorn, it'll come back down into the machine. Okay, but you know what? Enough jibber-jabbering. Let's go. I'm going to set it at about 4 to get started. And let's get some popcorn removed. Start it on there. Oh, whoopsie. Okay, let's start over. Okay. And you know, you just take your time doing this. But it's like, look at this. It's coming right off. It's like magic eraser. Okay, we're going to come over here, and you're going to see this right off the edge. Okay, but I'm going to come over. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. Derek, am I coming through okay, the audio? Okay, so here's the other thing I'm going to tell you. Use half the pad. 50% of the pad, overlap, and then do your next stroke. That's another tip I can give you on this. That way there you maximize the dust extraction. Okay? And then come off like this. Okay? And then half the pad. And just take your time. Because you know how you have to do this elsewise. Right? You have to what? Top off the whole room. Okay, move everything out first, hopefully. Top it off, right? Okay, think how much time this is saving you. Then you got to wet the ceiling, okay, wet the popcorn, walk away for 15, 20 minutes, half hour, and then you got to come back and scrape it onto that top, right? But guess what? After you do that, you remove it, right? And then what do you got to do? You got to wait for before you paint it. Or before you put a coat of prime. Well, you got to sand it again, don't you? And then you got to put a coat of prime on there. Okay, guess what? You got to wait for that ceiling to dry. Here you don't. Okay, and I'm gonna stop pretty much right here because I think you guys get it. Okay, remember, take it off like this, and look at that. Now, here's the bogey on it. Check out that paper. Okay, that almost feels like 80 when I started. Okay, and we got all the dust, everybody. Look at the floor down here. There's nada down there. Okay, so I thought I'd cover that with you. That's some basic things. I'm just going to review really quick. Start with a high grit. If that popcorn wasn't coming off, then I'd probably drop down to maybe 40 or 60, and then progress my way up. Okay, always analyze the surface. Start around 4, your pad speed. I started with 80 grit on here. Start with the pad on the ceiling, okay? And then overlap your strokes by 50%. And then you have a winner. You have, look at this, everybody. Okay? And if I want to go to a higher grit just to get a little more off, I can. Okay? But look, before and after. Okay? And that took what, maybe 30 seconds, a minute? This is a winner chicken dinner, everybody, okay? So I thought I'd cover that. Okay, I think I covered what I was going to cover today. Oh, the guys always write this. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification, because a half hour before you'll get a notification on all the Festool lives. And we have a question. And boy, am I glad I prepared for this today. Okay. There's a demo. They want a demo on the harness. Okay. And I have it. Oh, here's one for you. Before I hit the harness, I'll do a demo on that. We're running pretty good on time. Okay. Painted surfaces. I love showing people this because this is the ultimate surface preparation tool. Think about this PLANEX EZ. Think about you going into a room. All you painters out there and remodelers, you're going into a room, you got to paint it, and you look at the surface. Will it work on paint? Absolutely. You're not going to start with 80 grit. You might start with 150, 180. But you go in, you can actually clean the whole wall, remove all your drip marks, roller marks, whatever, some of the dirt that's on there. Do a quick wipe with a cotton you're ready for a prime. Okay, so I thought I'd do that. This is not a wood floor sander, because Minnie's writing that up there, or a decking sander. Okay, you'll go for a ride on that because of the angle you have to hold the PLANEX. It's a rotary action, so stay away from that. It's great for painted surfaces and drywall. Okay, now, okay, man, I'm going to do it. Let's do the harness. If you guys got a couple of minutes, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to get my harness over here. Okay? Let's see if I can put this on with the mic. The adjustments on the harness are pretty easy. Okay? Here's for the back. And once you adjust it for your frame, it's pretty, it'll probably stay that way unless you got other people on the crew. And I'm going to, as I put it on, I'll just slide it on here. What this does is if I'm sanding a lot of ceiling, okay, a big room, all right, it'll take the weight off. And the way I describe the harness to people is this, if you need it. You ever change a light bulb or you ever change a ceiling fan? Of course you have, okay? And you're up on that ladder and you're up there like this. And look, how am I working? Above my shoulders, right? That's fatiguing. What if I can, and you saw me today, I was using this and I was kind of above my shoulders with this, right? What if I'm going to do a humongous room? What if I could take the weight off of that and I'm holding the PLANEX like this? Follow me on this. This is what the harness is for, okay? You have it like that. Adjust it. Okay, here's your belt. I always put that right here, right about mid-back or my lumbar area, okay? It comes with this pouch. I know where I set this up. And when you set on there, or whoever asked this question, how do you adjust it? You have to adjust it for your frame. Now, I've seen people put it here. My buddy Johannes uses it like this. Okay, I can't because of my shoulders. You have to adjust it for yourself. I know, because I have my clip here, I know that's where I hook it. Okay, it's pretty simple. So if I have it like this, what's going to happen is this pole is going to, right here, okay, is going to sit in here just like this, okay? This pole runs alongside my PLANEX, okay? I'm going to hook it up. It hooks up to the PLANEX and it hooks up to the PLANEX EZ. So give me a little room here. I'm just going to take that, slide it off, and I'll set it up for everybody. I love showing people how this works and adjusts. Okay, so I'm going to take it off, take this off, set it up here, and set it up here. Okay, so let's take the PLANEX over. Okay, now, it was funny this morning because I knew, for some reason, I knew we were going to get this question, and I wanted to make sure I was set up with it. I'm going to grab, it also comes with these 3 pieces. This is the handle you hold on to, and these pieces hook onto the PLANEX. Now, when I hook it up, I always have to remember, okay, this part is for the pole, this part's for the PLANEX. So one always goes here. And I'm going to open this up, okay, like this. Set it up in here like this. That's 2 brackets. Okay, let me just mount this down here. It takes a couple minutes, but you just be patient with it and see how it hooks right to the handle here or right underneath this part right here. Okay, good. Get it into a decent position. Now, here's a great tip. I learned this from my buddy Johannes. See this? I'm the one who uses this machine. I know how to hook this up. So what if I put this back together every other day? I don't want to have to find my sweet spot where I want to hold it. So what I do is I mark my machine where this pat's going to go. Okay, so look, see how that is? Now, if you, and I do this, and Yo taught me this, because at one time him and I both had the same PLANEX we were demonstrating. And what was funny about it was we had some in black and some in red. Okay, because Johannes has a smaller frame than I do, or smaller body type. So I also marked the pole. This comes in 3 pieces, okay? And this is where my brackets are going to go. So hopefully I'm not blocking too much, Chris. But I'm going to take this, I'm going to slide it through, okay? And it's just finding, when you set this up, it's just finding your sweet spot where this, or in the ceiling height, okay, where it's going to fit appropriately for you. But you see how I've marked the pole too? And my PLANEX. So as I lock it in, make sure it's nice and tight. Same thing with this one. It automatically registered right where I needed it. So I'll just take it and tighten it up. Okay, I think I got it okay so far. I'm going to tighten it up, and then I have this. This is the handle, and you can position this how comfortable you want to. Sometimes I just hold it without the handle like this, because like you're kite surfing. Okay, so check it out. I just put it on here like this. Hopefully the person that asked us this question, this is helping them out, and I just lock it underneath and swing it like this. So instead of working the machine over my head or above my shoulders where you get maximum fatigue, okay, check this out, everybody. I can take this now, watch, and all the weight is taking through my torso. So if I take that, oops, sorry, I'm going to put it up like this, but I also take it, whoopsie, I'll take it like this, I'll put it in here, and now I could take it right here, and I can work for a lot more hours like this. And it's just learning your technique of going back and forth with this and swinging it. But you see how it's supported between my legs like this? Okay, my buddy Johannes uses it just like this, and he is amazing with this machine. Okay? So hopefully that answered your question about the harness. Woo! Wow. Okay. Hey, Vin, how you doing from Canada? Vinny taught me something this week that was really cool. The PLANEX, the regular PLANEX, where are you? Right over here. If you're a contractor and you have multiple PLANEXes like this, do you know that the serial number here on the power head or the sanding head matches the serial number here? So if you send it in, the guys at the repair center run diagnostics. So please, please send in the machine with the same machine that has the same serial number as the power, the sanding head and the power stick. Okay, that was for you, Vinny. Okay, interface pads and how to use the PLANEX and when. Okay, so. Okay. The interface pads for me is when you're doing a level 5 and you want to float the sander with a higher grit. Okay? You can do that right now if you get the Granat Soft. And that's why we came out with it. You can use the Granat Soft with the pad that comes with the PLANEX. Okay, hear me out on this. If you have some of the older systems, you may see this. There's 2. See this right here? This is the PLANEX kit. Okay? There's another package, I don't have it, that has replaceable interface pads. Okay, now, let me see if you guys can see this. Okay? This is the set. It comes with 2 interface pads and this pad. Okay? And it has an S on it. S is for slimmer. Okay? It's thinner. Okay, now if I take one of these interface pads, and I hear this often enough, I'm using an interface pad, and what they did is they bought the replacements, or you bought the replacements, okay? And you will call us and tell us this. Hey, I bought the interface pads and I'm using them. Check this out, everybody. Come in here, Chris, so you can see this. See the interface pad? See that? that now, the bristles aren't on the wall to stop the dust. And then I put the paper on that. The dust extraction pretty much goes away. Okay? If I take the time to put this slim pad on there with the interface, it sits below the bristles, and now I got great dust extraction. So that's one of the things that we work on. And so always get the set first, and then you have the replacement. But it's to float the sander on a contoured surface or for a level 5 finish. And of course, a higher grit. Okay. Woo! Oh, wow. This lasted a little ways. Okay, so as I always do, I like to call out, and this is our favorite part pretty much. We all agree here. Bosses agree as well. We love calling out all you wonderful people around the world. So I got ID. I think that's Idaho. Okay, we got IL for Illinois. We got UK, United Kingdom. Malta, you're always there for us. The Bay Area, we got Ryan, my main man, Curtis, down in, wow, Alabama. How you doing, buddy? Hopefully your whole family's safe. We have OR. Oh, no, that's Oregon. Upstate New York, Miami, Florida, baby, and Southern California. And I'm going to call you out again, Vinny. Hey, Victor, I know you're watching, and you're a rock star. Okay. I think that's it. I want to thank everybody in the room. We got some big plans for next week. Don't forget to watch. We're going to be covering the new STM 1800. You guys are asking us what that is, and that's our new mobile sawing station. We'll cover that next week. I want to thank Minnie. She's a rock star. Brent, thank you so much. You were probably answering a ton of questions online. Big D and Chris, thank you guys. And once again, I want to thank each and every one of you. We love you. Thank you for watching. You got us through a lot of this pandemic stuff, and I'm going to say it again. Don't forget to wash your hands. That's it. We're outie.